Okay, so today we're going to unpack this source. We're doing a deep dive that really challenges how we tend to think about building wealth and, getting to financial freedom.
Yeah, it kind of flips the script on some common ideas, doesn't it? Pushes you to look inward.
Totally. And this material, it's actually framed as part two of something bigger.
Right. Suggesting that getting a handle on your money isn't just about the practical stuff, the spreadsheets.
Exactly. It's arguing it fundamentally starts, in your head. Mindset first.
Understanding that connection. Your internal beliefs, your external financial reality, it's all linked.
Mm-hmm. And our mission here really is to pull out the most potent insights from this source for you.
Yeah. Go beyond just a summary. Get to the core of the practical steps and those crucial mindset shifts it talks about.
Helping you see what actually moves the needle. So let's just jump right in.
Okay.
The source kind of kicks off by tackling a really, really common assumption. You know the one I mean.
You mean the idea that wealth just comes from having a high-paying job?
Correct.
Big salary equals rich?
That's exactly it. That's the belief it really puts under the microscope.
And it argues that focusing only on income kind of misses the whole point.
Yeah, it states pretty clearly, actually, that wealth really comes from consistent habit.
Right. Not the peak earning years necessarily, but the steady, small actions. The stuff you do over time that adds up.
Compound interest, but for your actions.
Exactly. It's not the big flood, it's the consistent trickle that fills the bucket. And the source has that great line too.
Which one? Oh, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep.
Yes, and more importantly, what you do with it. So it's about management, action, not just the money coming in.
Makes total sense. And it gets practical, right? It details 3 key habits. Anyone can start these.
First one up, automatic saving.
Setting up those auto transfers, even if it feels like, barely anything at first.
Yeah, the source literally uses the example of even if it's just $10 a week, the power isn't the amount initially.
It's the automation, removing the decision.
Exactly. You said it, forget it. Takes willpower out of the equation each payday. And that consistency, that's what builds momentum.
Okay, automate saving. Got it. Habit number 2.
Daily money check-ins. Simple idea.
How long are we talking? Like hours of budgeting?
No. The source suggests just 5 minutes reviewing your spending. 5 minutes.
Okay, that's doable. So it's about awareness then.
That's the core point. It says small awareness creates big control. Just seeing where it's going.
Stops it from just vanishing. Makes you more mindful for the next time you want to buy something.
Precisely. Hard to manage what you don't measure, right? And the third habit.
What's number 3?
It's called the 24-hour rule.
I think I know this one. For unplanned purchases.
Yep. Especially bigger ones. Wait a full day before you pull the trigger.
Let the emotion cool down.
The source suggests you'll genuinely be surprised how often that thing you had to have suddenly seems less urgent. Or just not necessary at all.
That's a powerful one. Impulse buys are often emotional. Give it 24 hours, let logic catch up.
Exactly. So these 3 things, automated saving, daily check-ins, 24-hour rule, they sound simple, maybe too simple.
Yeah, almost deceptively simple.
But the source insists they build your financial foundation brick by brick. They're the structure, the essential doing part.
Okay, the doing part. But then it pivots, right? Because doing isn't always enough.
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because the source immediately says, even with the best habits, your own internal stuff, your mindset.
Can sabotage you. That's the word it uses.
Absolutely. Which brings us squarely into those mental barriers, and it names some incredibly common, really sticky, limiting beliefs people have about money.
Okay, like what? What kind of beliefs are we talking about?
Oh, things like, I'm just not good with money, classic one.
Hear that all the time. Or maybe
I'll never get out of debt.
that heavy feeling of being trapped.
Feels insurmountable sometimes.
And another one, often tied to identity or background. People like me don't build wealth. Wow. Yeah, those hit hard because for a lot of people, they don't feel like beliefs. They feel like facts.
They really do feel factual. But the source is quite direct here. It calls them lies, your brain tells you.
Lies. That's strong language.
It is. To keep you comfortable, but broke.
Oof. Comfortable but broke. That's a wake-up call.
It really is.
Yeah.
It suggests these aren't objective truths. They're just like internal stories that stop us from changing because change feels uncomfortable, risky.
Okay, so if it identifies these powerful lies, what's the counter? How do you fight back against that narrative in your head?
It counters them head on.
Yeah.
It basically asserts that money is a skill, not a personality trait.
Ah, so not something you're born with or without.
Exactly. And anyone can learn it. It reframes your financial capability completely. It's something you acquire through learning, through practice.
Which links right back to the habits we just talked about. Practice, consistency.
Precisely. It shifts you from that fixed idea, I am bad with money, to a growth mindset. This is a skill I can develop.
That feels much more empowering. Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you start chipping away at those lies?
Well, it gives you a really practical challenge. It says, write down one limiting belief you have about money and flip it.
Flip it. How do you just flip something that feels so true, so ingrained?
It gives a great example. So instead of believing I can't save, you actively reframe it.
Yeah.
You choose to state, I'm learning to prioritize my future.
Okay, so it's not pretending you're perfect. It's acknowledging the process. I'm learning.
Exactly. You're in the process of learning, of making it a priority. The source calls this a small shift, big power. It's about consciously creating a new internal dialogue, one that
Right.
actually supports your goals instead of undermining them.
And that new belief, presumably, makes sticking to the habits feel more authentic, more aligned with who you're becoming.
You got it. The mindset shift fuels the habit formation, and the habits reinforce the new mindset. It's a positive feedback loop.
Okay, makes sense. So we've got the foundational habits, we're tackling the internal barriers. Where does the source take us next? It talks about the end goal, right? Living free.
Yes. And it defines this financial freedom in a way that's maybe surprisingly simple, but also really profound.
What's the definition?
It means choice.
Choice, huh? Not like a specific dollar amount in the bank.
Less about the number, more about the flexibility and autonomy it gives you.
Yep.
The source elaborates with examples like the freedom to work because you want to, not because you have to. That's a big one.
Oh yeah, the have to is the cage.
And also the freedom to say yes or no without fear.
Without that background anxiety about money dictating your decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That fear is the implicit financial constraint. Freedom is removing that constraint, having options, real control over your time and your life decisions.
That really resonates. Okay, so if freedom is choice, how do you get there? The source says it starts somewhere specific.
It starts with clarity. You have to define what choice, what freedom actually means to you is personal.
Right, it's not one size fits all, so the source actually prompts you to ask.
Yeah, what does freedom look like for me? And it gives examples to get you thinking, owning your time. Is that your main goal?
Or maybe traveling without stress or retiring early?
Exactly. It gets you to visualize your specific destination. What does that free life look like in detail?
And this definition isn't just like a nice thought experiment.
No, the source insists it's the crucial first step to making it real. The advice is define it, then design it.
Design it. Okay, how do you design freedom? What does that mean in practice?
It means making tangible decisions, financial decisions that align with your definition. And the most potent example it gives is making your budget reflect your values, not just your bills.
Ooh, I like that. So budgeting isn't just about restriction, it's about allocation towards what you value, towards your definition of freedom.
Exactly. It flips the whole script on budgeting. It becomes a tool for building the life you want, guided by your personal vision of freedom, not just tracking expenses.
Budgeting as future design, that's a much more motivating way to think about it.
It reframes the whole process, doesn't it? And ultimately, the source kind of ties everything together. It reminds us that achieving this, the money mastery, the freedom, it's a journey, not a jackpot.
Right. No lottery ticket solution here, no overnight success.
No, it's a process.
Yeah.
And on that journey, the source really emphasizes two key things to remember.
What are they?
Give yourself grace. Acknowledge there will be setbacks, mistakes, and stay consistent.
Grace and consistency. Sounds like a good recipe for any long journey. Back to consistency again. It keeps coming up.
It's the thread running through everything. The consistent small actions, the consistent reframing of thoughts, the consistent movement towards your defined freedom.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up this deep dive then. We've really seen how this source pushes back on just focusing on income.
Yeah, emphasizing those consistent habits as the real wealth builders, even small ones.
And then the crucial part about confronting those limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
identifying them, calling them out as lies.
And actively flipping the script on them, realizing money management is a skill you can learn.
And finally, getting really clear on what financial freedom, that idea of choice, looks like for you personally.
defining it,
Yeah.
and then designing your financial life, your budget, to actually build towards that specific vision.
It feels like a really integrated approach, the practical steps and the vital mindset work hand in hand.
Yeah, you can't really have one without the other, according to this source.
Yeah.
It offers a genuine path to getting more control, more freedom.
So the source tells us money mastery is this journey, requires consistency, asks us to define our own freedom. It leaves you with a question, really. If this journey really does depend on consistency, what's maybe one small consistent step, just one thing that you listening could take, maybe even starting today, that actually aligns with your unique definition, whatever that might be, of living free?